Howdy folks, good morning. As you can see, I just harvested and washed up some zucchini, and we're gonna quickly get these prepped to make zucchini bread. I got a lot more zucchini to harvest, so it's just good to keep up with these. I'm gonna make some bread, maybe 2 or 3 loaves, either today or tomorrow, but for now I'm gonna cut these up into 2-cup portions, and that's for the size of my recipe. And we're just gonna bag them in Ziploc bags and freeze them until I get time to make the breads. I'll pick some rainy or super hot day and do that in the air condition. So that's what we're gonna do right now. All right, so all I got over here is like a cheese grater and a bowl. I'm just gonna do this on an angle, and I'm gonna fill up the bowl as much as possible. Sometimes I use a big bowl, I just don't feel like getting it out, but I'm just gonna transfer these into you know, the Ziploc bags right away anyhow. So we're gonna, let's see, we'll get started with this little fella right here. And again, everything is washed and clean. I'm just gonna use the bigger side of this grater. I have an older one of these from my aunt, but this one's got a little bit bigger opening, so it's a little easier when you have a lot to do. So, and you know, you're not skinning these or anything like that, but just keep going. And you know, some of the pieces that get too big, you gotta kind of rotate them or cut them up to do this. You know, just do your best. But you can see how quick this grates. So it doesn't take long. All these will probably maybe take me 10 minutes. I'm not gonna make you watch the whole thing, but I mean, you can see how quick. I think it goes faster than if you just left it in this position. You know, I mean, you could do that if they're small enough, but I like to just keep rotating it, and personally I think it just works better, a little easier. Okay, I'm just finishing up with this one small zucchini here. And now I'm not gonna go right to the end. I'll leave a little bit here because number one, I don't want to catch my fingertips, and number two, I'll just chuck this over to the rabbits. They'll love that. But you could see just that one small zucchini. That's how much I got. Nearly a whole bowl, half a bowl. So you could see, I mean, that's probably enough for 3 breads. So it's going to be awesome. So I'm going to do this in, like I said, 2-cup increments. That's what my recipe calls for. And then you can also take the shredded zucchini, and if you want to saute them in olive oil and garlic, you know, you can use it as a side on one of your dinner plates, meals. You can wrap them in dough with meats and different things. There's a lot of things you could do with this stuff. So I like to do this ahead of time, freeze them, and then sometimes I don't have time right away to do the bread, but in the winter time I get, you know, little time, I'll do it then. All right, so we're just going to transfer. Now this was two zucchini. Look at all that. I mean, that feels like 2.5, 3 pounds of zucchini. So I'm going to take out, this is going to be several bags, so I'm going to take out a few of these, and I'm just going to mark a date on there. I have a marker right here in my new cabinets. I love this kitchen, by the way. Go see Gold Shield Construction for your estimate today. And I make no money on that, just saying. They did good work. And I'm probably going to make enough of these to probably make 15 zucchini breads, maybe 20, you know, because we eat them up throughout the season. And I use my micrometer. I don't measure. In fact, I like a little extra zucchini in my bread. But out of all these, I'll probably get enough for maybe 8 or 10 breads. All right, Alright, so that's roughly 2 cups there. So you get the gist of it. I'll bag all this, scrape all these down, chop them down, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, so I usually try to pick these smaller than this. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually trimming these down and cutting the seeds out. And you know, you end up losing a little bit of meat, but you know what? You don't really want the seeds in there. A little bit ain't gonna kill you, but so I just do that, and that stuff won't go to waste. Those shavings I'll give to the chickens with the seeds in them, and then the rabbits I'll get the rest. So that first bowl I showed you, I have enough there for about 3 breads. So I'll probably get another 6 bags out of all this. So, you know, 9 breads, that's pretty good for the first wave of zucchini. But like I said, I'll probably end up making 15 to 20 breads this year. I'll sell a couple of them. I give 1 or 2 to my neighbor behind me. His wife died a few years back. She used to give me zucchini bread and banana bread. She had a great recipe too. Hers were delicious. So I used to give her vegetables, but she died, the poor lady, Jean. She was so nice. Grew up with her kids. And all right, so all that was just 1 zucchini right there. One of the bigger ones. Excuse me. We'll see how many bags we get out of this one. And this is the parts that a lot of people, you know, don't want to do. That, you know, they tend to get a little lazy with the homesteading. But this, to me, is, you know, the outcome of this is the best. Man, you get a good zucchini bread. Oh, man. Like even today, I'm tired today. But, you know, I got other things to do. But sometimes you gotta strike when the iron's hot, man, and get this stuff in the freezer so it don't go to waste. You know, this is what we do. All right, folks. So I'm done with that batch of zucchini. This is what I'm left with. Some scraps for the animals. I'm gonna go give that to them now. And 13 bags of zucchini shredded for bread. All right. Good morning, folks. This morning, we're going to be taking some of that zucchini and making a couple breads. I got all my ingredients out here: cinnamon, flour, brown sugar, eggs, baking powder, baking soda, kosher salt, and my freeze-dried milk. First thing we're going to do is make a 1/2 cup of milk. I'm just going to take some of this, throw it in here with some filtered water, and let it reconstitute into milk. Alright, so I just emptied out, my camera just died, so I just emptied out half of this package. So I do these packages of freeze-dried milk in 1 cup packages. So I got a 1/2 cup in here. I'm going to put some filtered water, let it reconstitute. Alright, so you just saw me grate up a whole bunch of zucchini, so I'm just going to do this one really quick. And this might be enough for both breads today, but I have this other handful of zucchini I need to grate up, but I'm going to do this one fresh for these 2 breads. Alright, so I just shredded up that whole thing. This is how much I got, which is way more than enough for 2 breads. So I don't know, maybe I'll make 4 breads today. Let's get this all in here. This is enough for about 6 breads, or maybe 8. Alright, so I'm gonna get my eggs in the bowl first, because with fresh eggs, we have chickens. You never know, you get a surprise. Oh, look at that yolk, how nice. Deep. I'll show you that in a second. Wow. Beautiful eggs. Nothing better than having your own chickens. Look at this. Look at those deep orange yolks. Hopefully you can see that. Beautiful. Whew. Man. Alright, now I got my milk that's been reconstituting from this here. Alright, so I don't really keep cooking oil, and I don't use vegetable oil too often, but I'm going to use some avocado oil for this. 1/2 cup. You could use olive oil too. I've never used this before in this recipe, but we'll try it out. You don't know until you try. Alright, now we got some vanilla extract, 1.5 teaspoons. That's 1.5. Alright, so we're going to get 2 cups of zucchini. There's 1 and 2. A little extra doesn't hurt. Okay, we're going to do 1.5 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Alright, that's 1 and about 1/2. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright, now we're going to do 1 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Alright, so that the rest of that bag was a little over 1 1/3. We're just going to use the whole thing. There's no sense storing, you know, a little bit. Alright, we're going to do 1 teaspoon coarse salt. This is kosher salt in an old container. Need. Let's see, we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. I believe that's 1/2 right there. And we're going to do 1.5 teaspoon baking powder. Alright, this is the 1/2. That's the 1. And then we're going to sneak in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, which I keep in here. Let's see if we can do this without making a mess. Alright, since my 1 cup thing is dirty, I'm going to use 4 of these 1/2 cups, which fits in here a little bit better. That's 1, 2, 3, and last but not least, 4. Got all our ingredients all in here. Sometimes I break up the eggs first, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'll finish getting this stirred and get back to you. Alright, so we got all this mixed. Now we're just going to put our parchment paper in our little bread pans. Parchment paper is a pain in the ass, but we're using it anyway. I'll trim this afterwards. Let's go ahead and spoon some of this in here. Got a little clump of brown sugar. Alright, let's get some in the other one here, if I could do it without making a mess. So let me fix my paper. This is the worst part. It's not that big a deal though. We're going to make 2 more quick ones. I got 4 bread pans. The goal is to make about 20 of these. Not all today. Okay, I got more than that one in this one, but it's okay. Tried to eyeball it. Alright, I'm just going to trim this parchment paper a little bit. Now these bad boys are ready for the oven. Okay. All right, folks, this is what I ended up with this morning. 4 loaves of zucchini bread. These 2 I used olive oil. These 2 I used avocado oil. Did some pickles this week. Shredded up some more zucchini. I'm going to freeze this now for future breads. Those are just a couple jars of chili from last year that I'm bringing to the camper. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'm going out on the patio, the lair, and have some coffee now. Alright, this is the one I cooked with the avocado oil. Oh yeah, a little hunk of cinnamon right there. Gonna love that. I mean brown sugar. Not bad. Success. Delicious.